I think I've got this thing together. Let's find out. All right. Awesome. I'm seeing that green light. I like to see that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great. I'm even put a chat in there. All right. Yeah, like why not? Let's have a little fun. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Hi everybody. Valerie Lewis right here coming to you live from the suburbs of Washington D.C. And today we are on chapter 6 of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And this chapter is all about how riches come to you. Boom. So far so great. We have gone over 5 previous chapters plus the preface that has really reopened my eyes. Like, I've read this book several times, and every time I go back in there, it just reignites something inside of me. So I hope it's doing the same for you, whether this is your first time reading it or perhaps you've read it before as well. So definitely make sure that you put in the comments, your biggest takeaways from this or questions you may have about things that you didn't understand in the book. And also remember, if you need a free copy of the book, then make sure that you let me know, and I will be happy to send you a free copy straight from Victory with Valerie. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now let's get right on into this. Once again, just the opening paragraph always blows me away. But Wallace goes in to say, when I say that you do not have to drive sharp bargains, I do not mean that you don't have to drive any bargains at all, or that you are above the necessity for having any dealings with your fellow men. I mean that you will not need to deal with them unfairly. You do not have to get something for nothing. But you can give to every man more than you take from him. Yes, yes, I love this. I love this. And I gotta be honest with you guys, okay? When I first picked up this book, I had heard about it. People were saying I needed to read it and all of that. And I was like kind of nervous because I'm like, oh, I don't know about this book, you guys. The science of getting rich, I don't know. I've got certain beliefs. I don't know. It's going to be a little difficult, but I'm going to go into this with an open mind. Then I read the preface, which says, have an open mind, right? And I'm like, he's reading my mind. And now here I am, and I look at this, and I love this because I find, especially in the online marketing profession, that a lot of people actually kind of feel shame or guilt, for lack of a better word, because they know that there is a reputation out there, that some people believe that, online marketing, network marketing is like the scam where you're always looking to take something from somebody and you're never really willing to give, or, you're just, it's a scam, you've been brainwashed, it's a pyramid scheme, like all this crazy stuff. But the thing about that is these people are ignorant to the facts and to the truth. They don't really understand how it works. And rather than just admitting they don't understand, they'd rather just say, oh, it must be something bad. If I don't know about it, it must be something bad. That's on them. That's on those people. Now, I also can't completely put all of that responsibility on them, because there are lots of network marketers out here who are feeding that reputation, right? They're going out here totally just with no character, no dignity, no integrity, and they actually are scamming folks. They're chasing people down. They are annoying the heck out of their friends and family. They always want them to join an opportunity. They don't show people any value. And so, yes, when you don't show value, people will look at it as if you are trying to sell something that is useless and valueless, for a dollar amount. And so for me, I have never, ever gotten involved with anything that does not fit with my morals and my ethics, my personal ethics, because I pour a lot of that into my business. you know? And so I always want to run a professional business. I don't want to be the amateur selling the CDs out the trunk of my car. I want to be the professional selling CDs out of all the major markets, all the, iTunes and everywhere, all the record stores, and people paying for tickets to see me on tour. Like, I would rather be the professional as opposed to the amateur, because the amateurs are never taken seriously. And the thing is, starting off and being new doesn't mean that, you need to be seen as an amateur. You can be brand spanking new and people see you as an authority, right? As long as you know a skill or a technique or a strategy that your audience doesn't know, you can be seen as an authority even if you're new. So you just have to keep in mind that when you operate a business, whether you're an online business like me or not, right? If you're not an internet entrepreneur, even still, when you are running your business, you want to do exactly what he goes on to talk about. You want to always give more in use value than you're asking for in cash value. And I love that. Okay. So, yes. Definitely, like, tons of fun. um, so let's see. Let's continue on. Yes, I kind of basically mentioned that already. So then he gives an example. Okay. So he says, let us suppose that I own a picture by one of the great artists in which any civilized community is worth thousands of dollars. But I take it and by salesmanship induce an Eskimo to give a bundle of furs worth $500 for it. Now, most people will be like, oh my gosh, you're giving this person a painting worth thousands of dollars and you're only getting $500 worth of furs for it. Sounds like, I would do that. No. Look at what Wallace goes on to say. He says, I've really wronged him, for he has no use of the picture. It has no use value to him. It will not add to his life. Are you trying to sell a bunch of things to people that have no use for it? Has your upline been telling you everybody's a prospect, everybody's a customer, and so you've been going to everybody? Because that's a big mistake. There are some things that you offer people that if you're doing it like this, there's some things that you're going around offering to people that they have absolutely no use for. And then you talking about you want some money for it, and you're wondering why people are blocking you or dodging your calls and things like that. Well, this is why right here. Okay. So then he goes on to say, but suppose I give him a gun worth $50 for his furs. Right? Now remember, the furs were worth $500. He's giving him a gun worth $50. But check this out. That guy has made a good bargain. Why? Because he has use for the gun, and it will get him many, many more furs and much more food. It will add to his life in every way. It'll make him rich. Boom. So now, as he has this gun, he can go out, he can hunt, he can sell more furs, he can sell more food, he could have food, he could have the furs, he could exchange it for other things that he needs, right? Boom, there you go. Now, for those of you that are like, oh my gosh, like, I love animals and all that, that's wonderful. Congratulations. I respect that. Thank you so much. But you have to remember at the time that this book was written, okay, which is why he's using that example. So before anybody posts that comment, like, please, that's not even a subject, okay? He's just giving you an example. So the same thing with running your business. Okay, running your business online, you want to make sure that you are giving people more in use value than you're asking for in cash. So for example, I ask people to just come on, be a part of this free book club, right? So that we can discuss different ideas together, allow this to be some type of influence on one another, an impact on one another, so that you can move forward in your business with even more positive mindset and more creativity, more ideas, and a willingness to stay open-minded as you continue to move forward in your business. Now, this book club, and even this book itself, is free. right? For you to find me on YouTube, even if you've never seen me before, for you to find me on YouTube and get some value from what I'm talking about, that's free, right? I'm not even asking for any kind of cash or anything. You're just here, okay? And you're able to watch this whenever you want, as many times as you want, right? And you could be getting something from this, from the book, from this discussion, right? So the thing is, even though I didn't ask for any money for it, right? I am getting less of a monetary value than I am giving in use value, because somebody, maybe it's you, but somebody is going to go through this series with me. They're going to go through this book club with me, possibly just go through one chapter, possibly just one paragraph, and it will cause them to have an epiphany, a light bulb moment where they finally can break through. Maybe there was something that they were struggling with before, and this caused a break through that obstacle. And now they know exactly what to do. Now they see it in a different light, and now they have realized, oh my gosh, the solution was right in front of me. And they're able to move forward, and they're able to start bringing in commissions into their business. They're able to start getting more and more customers. They're able to start building and putting more people on their team. They're able to start making thousands of dollars from a free book club series. Wait, y'all ain't hear me though. Okay, so I find that to be so uplifting. It's so encouraging to know that the way that I've always believed business should be run is in direct alignment with what Wattles is talking about right here. Right? You do not have to be some pitchy, sleazy, sneaky, deceptive, manipulative salesman in order to create riches in your business and therefore in your life. And that is definitely something that we have got to clear out of our brain. You don't need a gimmick. You don't need some way to trick people into looking at your products and services. What you need to do is give. You need to give value. You need to give to people something that they can take use of. And that's why I'm here. I know that people can benefit from understanding the laws inside of the science of getting rich and get this formula. And when you start learning that and applying that, right? When you start to apply it, oh my gosh, your life will change. Whether you end up buying something from me or not, whether you end up, going into business online or not, there is something there that will help you to take another step up, so you're in a whole other level of your life that will benefit you. That's what's important to me. Okay, so I thought that was really cool too. And he also goes on to say, when you rise from the competitive to the creative plane, which is what we talked about yesterday, you can scan your business transactions very strictly. And if you are selling anything, I'm messing this up. If you are selling any man anything which does not add more to his life than the thing that he gives you in exchange, including money, then you can afford to stop it. You do not have to beat anybody in business. And if you are in business which does beat people, get out of it at once. Give every man more in use value than you take from him in cash value. Then you are adding to the life of the world by every business transaction that you do. I love that. It's more than just you sell a course and the person purchases it, so they get the course and you get the money. It's more than that. You are adding to the life of the world with every transaction you make, because with every impact you make, with every sale of your course, you are increasing their personal value level. You're showing them how to do it. And this makes the world better. The more people that are able to have happy, fulfilling lives, the more people that are able to have an abundance of things at their disposal to use, to allow them to express themselves fully, to allow them to build themselves up in mind, body, and soul, the better the world becomes. Okay? I love that. I love that. So you have to rise out of the competitive and focus on the creative. What can you do today where you can provide value in that special, unique way that only you can. Maybe you're delivering a message that thousands of people before you have delivered, but they haven't delivered it in the way that you can deliver it. You have a unique voice. Share your message in the way that only you can. Where people may have heard it before and it didn't really click with them, but then they come across you and then boom, oh my gosh, that made so much sense. Boom, they get that light bulb moment. Boom, their life changes. That's awesome. Okay, so I love, like, when he's talking about, if you're selling any man anything which does not add more to his life than the thing that you give in exchange, you can afford to stop it. And this is something that I guess people don't really understand about me. Sometimes I say no, and it's good to say no. And what I mean by that is sometimes I will tell a person that they will probably not be a good fit on my team, or whatever it is that I'm offering at the time, a product, a service. I just don't believe this will be a good fit for you, and I do not want you to waste your time and money on this. So I think we need to just go ahead and end the conversation here, and then we can always touch base later and see where you are at that point. Because right now, I honestly do not believe that this is going to be a good fit for you. And I don't want to waste your time. I do not want you to feel like you're wasting your time or your money on this. You know, sometimes I just tell people no. No, no, I don't want your money. All money isn't good money. And what I mean by that is when you're looking to make a business transaction, okay? Because I know I said before, money's not neither good nor bad, but that's just a quote that I'm sharing with you guys. Every transaction that you make, you get to decide, right? You get to decide if you want to go through with the transaction. Sometimes it is not the best idea for you to go through and have the transaction, okay? And if you're starting to realize, oh my goodness, I am going to be giving less than I'm getting, don't make the transaction, right? Even if it's something like a quick $10 sale. If it's a $10 sale that you are already aware that this person doesn't really see the value in, don't even offer it to them. What's the point? I've got a $1 system that I use for my business online that allows me to make thousands of dollars a day. And I do not offer it to everyone, right? I will allow you to check it out if you want to see it. But sometimes I tell people, you know what? I don't think this is going to be a good fit for you to be a part of this team. Go get your refund. Go get your dollar refund, so you can't say anybody gypped you or anything like that, because this is not going to work for you. Because the thing is this, a person has to have a certain kind of mindset in order to succeed at anything. And especially, you know, this is to you fellow network marketers, online marketers, affiliate marketers, direct sales. It's not that people can't do what you do. It's that they don't believe they can do what you do. And it's got to start with a belief that they can before they can move forward. And if you can clearly see that a person's mindset isn't in the right place to get started with you, tell them no. You know, and then stay in touch with them, encourage them. You could always share some mindset materials with them and resources with them, but don't take their money just because they're willing to offer it and they don't even know what they're really getting themselves into. They don't really understand it, or they're always complaining about stuff. You know they're going to continue reaching out to you over and over again about foolishness. And they're using those things as distractions to move forward. So I just say, just tell them no. You know, whether it's them joining your team or you selling a product or service. Okay? That's my 2 cents. All right. So moving on into the next page, well, from the book that I'm looking at. If you have people working for you, you must take from them more in cash value than you pay them in wages. But you can so organize your business that it'll be filled with the principle of advancement, and so that each employee who wishes to do so may advance a little every day. You can make your business do for your employees what this book is doing for you. You can so conduct your business that it will be a sort of ladder by which every employee who will take the trouble to climb to riches himself, and given the opportunity, if he will not do so, then it's not your fault. And finally, well, I'm gonna get into that part in just a sec, but check this out. Okay, you guys. So, let's say you have a business, and it's not online. You've got a business where you have, lots of employees and things like that. Um, we're not talking about trying to climb the corporate ladder in the sense that most people do. When you're climbing that ladder, a lot of times you stepping on other people's hands. They trying to hold on to the rungs for dear life, and you stepping all over them to get to the top yourself. That's the competitive realm. We're not living in that. We're living in the creative realm. So one thing that he's talking about doing is providing a type of environment where people are able to move forward and advance. Stop offering people dead end jobs. That is something that you as an employer can do. Give them an opportunity to advance. Okay? And as a matter of fact, one of the goals that I have set, since cosmetology is where I got my start and is so near and dear to my heart, I actually have an idea. I have something that I want to do in the future as I'm building more cash flow, more revenue from my home business, my online business. I'm going to take that. I'm not going to go out and just have fun with it. I'm going to take that and I'm going to invest it into the next step that I want to take in my life. And I want to be able to do something where hairstylists, I'm going to take that thing to a whole new level, where hairstylists will have the opportunity for advancement in a way that they have never had it before. I'm not going to share everything, but just trust and believe it's going to be a way that every single person can advance. And that way we all win. This is one of the reasons why I actually loathe like corporate America, and I love multi-level marketing. I love affiliate marketing. I love these things because it allows you to take ownership, take responsibility for where you end up in life. Because when you look at corporate America, you could be putting in your all. You could be coming into work early, staying late, doing overtime. You could be putting your best foot forward, and still you would get looked over for the promotion and somebody else get it. And still you'd be delayed your raise, right? So it doesn't even really matter how hard you work. And a lot of people keep talking about, oh, the harder you work, the more rewards you'll get. False. We all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. Stop saying it. Like, it's not true. Look at how hard all these people are working every single day. It's not the working hard that brings you the most rewards. It's working smart. And that's why I'm highly suggesting the book to so many people. I'm like, listen, you're going to want a way to get out of where you are right now, because nobody's going to hand that to you. You got to figure this out on your own. You've got to create a way for yourself, create your own path. And also, there's only so far you can advance in your companies. Some people are like, well, I could advance high. Like, I could get to the point that I make $250,000. Yeah, and look how long it took you to get there. And you're still paying off your student loans. And you're still living paycheck to paycheck for a lot of people. And I'm thinking, I know people that learned how to start creating $250,000 a year online in like 2 to 3 years. So, took you how long? 10 years, 15 years, 8 years? Psh, around here, you can do it in just a few. And you could actually surpass the person who introduced you into this profession, into this industry. You could surpass that person, because here it's all based on your effort. Here is where you want to think smart, you want to learn the right skill sets, and the more you continue to build your skill sets, and the more you continue to build your personal growth and development, the faster you advance and the higher you advance. There is no cap. I've got a mentor of mine. He went from being in double foreclosure to he had one major milestone he shared with us where he made $1 million over a weekend for an event that he held. Hello. Hello, somebody. So it's totally doable. And now he makes, he's a multimillionaire. He makes several millions of dollars per year at this point. And it only took him, like, I think 7 years to make that happen. So I love that. I love the fact that there is no cap, there is no limit as to what you can do, because of the fact that you don't physically have to be there when you are building your online business. You can be anywhere you want to be, and still have the business going. And then you can take what you earn and you can invest it in all these other things. It's really difficult to do as an employee. And you know this, there's only so far you can go. So if you're not the employee, and rather you are the business owner, see if there's some things that you can do. Like, come on. I mean, we know what's right and what's not. If there's a way that you can help your people advance. Share with them some personal growth and development. Instead of just keeping them stuck and feeling like if they leave, if anything happens, like you kind of dangling their job in front of them. It's like, you've got it now, but I might snatch it away, or I might reduce your pay or something like that. We could give. We could give more. We could find a way for them to learn some things that they can do, because it's not going to hurt us. It will help everyone. It'll help everyone if we can all advance. So even if that person were to move on and to do another business or something like that, you never know. They may want to merge with you or partner in some way or do some kind of collaboration. You just really never know, right? But you got to stay out of that competitive mode. All right. So anyway, let's see some other stuff. Oh, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, we kind of covered a lot of this. I'm going to bring up this point, okay? He does mention, he gives the example of a sewing machine, because remember, this was written over 100 years ago. But here's the point. He says, once you form the thought of the thing that you want, right, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that it's coming. All right? Never, never think of it or speak of it in any other way than as being sure to arrive. Claim it as already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence, acting upon the minds of men. Okay? So, and then he goes on to give you an example. If you live in Maine, it may be that somebody from Texas or Japan like things go into motion where you eventually get what you ask for, what you want. Okay? And he says, do not forget for a moment that the thinking substance is through all, in all, communicating with all, and can influence all. The desire of the thinking substance for fuller life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines already made, and it can cause the creation of millions more, and will, whenever men set it in motion by the desire and faith, and by acting in a certain way. Okay, so I want you to kind of think about it like this. Okay, when you get online and you order something, right? You order, I don't know, whatever. You order a part for your computer, or you order a book, or you order some shoes, or whatever. I don't know. Okay, but you order something. You place the order online. Do you then sit there and say, well, I don't know if it's going to get here. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that. I mean, I just paid money for that, and there's tracking and everything. But even with all that, I don't know. I don't think it's going to show up. I don't know. Let me check. Bro, right? Or even if you're like in a restaurant, you open up a menu, you read the menu, you give the order to that waiter or waitress, and then they walk away. You don't sit there saying, wow, I really hope I get some food. Right? And yet we do that with our prayers. Got to stop doing that. Got to stop doing that. You have got to stop thinking that you may or may not get it. Sometimes prayers are answered and sometimes they're not. Sometimes you ask for stuff and you don't get it because God says no, or God says wait. No! God works outside of time. Okay? Or whatever you want to call him. Maybe you want to call him a her. I don't know. I respect that. Do what you want, okay? But God works outside of time. Time was created, and it was created for us to use, so we could keep track of stuff while we're here. But once you're gone off this planet, there's no more time. Okay? He works outside of time. He is always in the realm of now. If you want it, things will be set in motion now for that to take place. Okay? Now, understand what I'm saying. Because things will get set in motion at the moment you ask for it. But yes, it could take you a while to get it. But it's not because God is saying that you need to wait because he's testing out, your faith, or he's testing out your obedience and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know where people came up with that. Stop. Okay? It's on the way. You got to remember, as things operate on this earth, it's operating through others. So other events are taking place, other situations and scenarios are taking place that all get set in motion because one thing affects another thing, both sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, which will then end up causing what you want to finally be laid at your feet. And that's the really cool thing about it. Okay, so this is why you want to focus on getting up every day and focusing on having that faith, that belief that your business will be successful. Once you believe that, then you start operating through that. So it's just like what he's talking about, when first, if you want to start doing things in a certain way, the first thing you're going to need to start doing is thinking in a certain way, right? So if you want to start doing things in a way that your business is going to be successful, first you need to believe your business is going to be successful. And through that type of mindset, from that posture, you will start doing things each and every day in your business that will cause you to get a successful result. Is this making sense? I hope so. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? I hope so. All right. So just remember that. All right. As sure as you know that what you ordered is going to be placed in front of you when you go to a restaurant, is the same way when you put a request into God in your prayer that you're going to get exactly what you asked for. Okay? And you have to remember, typically, I hope, typically people aren't praying for the things that God hasn't already promised them. Right? And a lot of times you don't get your prayer answered. If it doesn't get answered, you don't get it answered, not because God said no, but because you didn't believe it. 9 times out of 10, you have withheld yourself from the blessing. God does not force himself on you. You have to invite it in. You have to be willing to receive. And it's in the Bible several times. Ask and believe, and then you'll receive. A lot of people ask, but they don't believe. You got to ask and believe, and then you'll receive it. Okay? Like, come on. Like, so far, a lot of this has been about, you got to believe it. Okay? So here's something that really blew me away. This is something that he shares in the book. And he goes on to say, once I saw a little boy sitting at a piano and vainly trying to bring harmony out of the keys. And I saw that he was grieved and provoked by his inability to play real music. I asked him the cause of his vexation, and he answered, quote, I can feel the music in me, but I can't make my hands go right. The music in him was the urge of the original substance, containing all the possibilities of all life. All that there is of music was seeking expression through this child. I love that. I love that. And when I think back on the things that I loved to do as a kid, I realized everything that I did that brought me joy, that created memories in the back of my mind and stuff like that, was all things that allowed me to seek expression, right? Whether it was musical or, just sitting there and drawing a picture, your mind, your body, your soul is looking to express itself. God himself is within you, looking to express himself, his love, his beauty, his creativity through all of us. This is why so many of us, we have certain talents, we have certain gifts, and yet if you don't use them, right, you don't get to express yourself. And if you don't get to express yourself, then you feel frustrated, you feel unfulfilled, you feel stressed out. And this is what so many adults are going through. Not so much really little kids, when they're 3, 4, and they're first going to school and stuff, like right before they get into school. They have all of this abundance of just imagination, and just like nothing stops them, right? I remember climbing trees and jumping out of them, not realizing, oh my gosh, you could like break a leg, you could skin your knee, what are you doing? But I used to love to do that, you know um and I used to love to dance. I used to try to paint, because y'all know Bob Ross was like all of that, right? So I'd be like, I'm gonna get out my little watercolors, I'm gonna try to do what he's doing. It never worked out that way, but in my mind it did, okay? Or playing make believe, and watching GI Joe or Transformers or She-Ra and He-Man and Jim and the Holograms and stuff, and even watching some of the other like superhero shows, like Batman and Robin, or Wonder Woman with Linda Carter. Hello. I would go in the backyard and go and pretend to be those things. I was allowed to be able to express myself through my imagination and my creativity. All the things that now today about me are still there, right? I wanted to be the superhero in my mind as a child, because I today use those things that I did playing to use in my everyday life, to be a leader, to be a better leader. What it means to feel the responsibility, and the accountability of showing others how to do what I do, of getting results, of being determined. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay, so that's definitely like really important. It's really important for you to understand that God wants to express himself. There are passages that talk about, uh, how he wants to, shine through you. We always talk about, I'm just a vessel. There's the song, This Little Light of Mine, right? This is exactly what life is about. Allow God to be able to express himself through you. That's why you're here. And you're here to be able to not just advance yourself, but to be able to advance other people as well. Every person that you come into contact with, hopefully, when you walk away from them, you leave them better than the way that you found them. I love that. Okay, let's keep going. All right. So, look at this. I love this part too. Like, this page is like my favorite page. Okay. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do and enjoy things through humanity. That's why we're here. That's why we were created. That's why we were created in his image. Like he really wants to, that's like a huge expression of love, is to continue to duplicate more life, more love. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so he goes on to say, he is saying, quote, I want hands to build wonderful structure, to play divine harmonies, to paint glorious pictures. I want feet to run my errands, eyes to see my beauties, tongues to tell my mighty truths, and to sing marvelous songs, and so on. Okay, so all that there is of possibility is seeking expression through men. I love that. I love that. Like, what is your take on this part? Okay, so anyway, he goes on to say, let's see, God wants those who can play music to have pianos and every other instrument, right? And to have the means to cultivate their talents to the fullest extent. He wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. He wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and to observe. He wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed, and those who can appreciate good food to be luxuriously fed. He wants all these things because it is himself that enjoys and appreciates them. It is God who wants to play and to sing and to enjoy beauty and proclaim truth and wear fine clothes and eat good foods. right? And here's a quote from Paul himself, right? Paul goes on to say, "It is God that worketh in you to will and to do." I love it. I love it. Are y'all getting like, oh my gosh. So, the desire that you're feeling, the desire you feel for health and wealth, the desire that you feel for riches is the infinite seeking to express himself in you as he sought to find expression in that little boy at the piano. So you need not hesitate to ask largely. Ask big. Don't ask for this little stuff. Oh, I just want to make my $50 commission. No. Ask for the big things. Right? And think about it. Lots of musicians out here who have been able to just live a very fulfilling life and enjoy what they do in the music industry. They can play several instruments. They've got a lot of the best equipment around, right? As they first started off, maybe they didn't have everything and they learned how to play one. And then as they use that ability, that talent, that gift to be able to play that music for people, and people appreciated it and it enhanced and enriched their lives, then that person who started playing the music was reciprocated monetarily with the riches so that they can continue to go out and further express themselves through music by getting more musical instruments and learning how to play those, and then getting better quality so that they can play better quality, and then that causes people to feel even more so enriched, right? And so on and so forth, and that's how it keeps going. So the same thing for you. Okay, so you need not hesitate to ask largely. Your part is to focalize and express the desire to God. We call it prayer. Now, this is a difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. Not true. They look upon poverty as part of the plan, a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished his work and made all that he can make, like there's some kind of limit on him or something. Are you kidding me? Okay. And that the majority of men must stay poor because there's not enough to go around. Again, untrue. They hold to so much of this erroneous thought that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more than a very modest competence, just enough to make them fairly comfortable. Not even all the way comfortable, just fairly. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Okay. So he goes on to say, I recall now the case of one student who was told that he must get in mind a clear picture of the things he desired, so that the creative thought of them might be impressed upon formless substance. He was a very poor man, living in a rented house, having only what he earned from day to day, and he could not grasp the fact that all wealth was his. So, after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for a new rug for the floor of his best room, and an anthracite, is that right? Anthracite coal stove to heat the house during the cold weather. Following the instruction given in this very book that we're going through, he obtained these things in just a few months. And then it dawned upon him that he had not asked enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he'd like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window here and a room there until it was complete in his mind as his ideal home, and then he planned its furnishings. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in the certain way and moving toward what he wanted. And he owns that house now. Forget renting. He owns the house and is rebuilding it after the form of his mental image. And now, with still larger faith, he is going on to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith. And it is so with you and with all of us. The problem is, most people don't believe that. What you believe is what you live. This is what frustrates a lot of people. Because they will go around and say, well, I believe this, and I don't believe that you're going to be successful unless you believe what I believe. I don't believe you're going to be a happy person unless you believe what I believe. Until they look around and they see there are people happy that do not believe what they believe. And it's a frustrating thought. They don't get it, and it's like, well, they're not really happy. How do you know? You're not in their brain. You're not in their heart. You don't know. Well, it appears to be. And it's like, well, wait a minute. I was taught to believe that only this is the way. And then if I don't believe, if they don't believe, then they're going to be suffering and all. No. No. What you believe is what you're going to live. Okay? So this person started to change his mindset, started to believe that God does actually want good things for him, right? And all he had to do was ask. And I love the part where he talks about, he asked for it, he believed he was going to get it, he got it, and then realized, wow, that was really small thinking. I can think bigger than this, and I can get bigger than this, right? And that actually happened to me. I'm going to share this with you guys, and then I got to go. And I'm sure you probably have to go too. This, I think, is one of our longer videos. But I had started a business. I had been slacking off for a while, and I was like, oh, I don't have the motivation to get back out here. I don't know what to do. And so finally I realized, you know what? I know that this business is something worth working on. I know that what I have for people will actually help change lives. I really need to stop thinking so much about me, and I need to start thinking about the purpose that I'm here. It's to serve others, it's to help people find a solution. And so I got up and I said, okay, fine. You know what, Lord, I'm going to get back into this business, and I'm just asking for I want to go back to the 2 sales a day. I just want to focus on getting it, some sales every day for the next 3 days. Just help me with that. And God is like, that's it? All right. Okay. And sure enough, I did that. And this was after like weeks, like 6-7 weeks or so of not doing anything with that business. And most of the time when you are not consistent with what you do, your customers, your team members will drop off, because again, you lead by example, and they will just, hey, you set the example to not do anything, they're going to stop doing things. Okay. And so I got back in, and lo and behold, 3 days in a row, sales. So I said, this is awesome. I didn't ask for enough. Let's go for 5 now. So I got 5. And I said, okay, let's go for 7. I got 7. And then I said, you know what? I need a major day. I need my $1,000 days back. I'm asking for sales and stuff, and that's great, but I want bigger sales. And so on the 8th day, not one, but $2,000 commissions. Like, that was my take home in a day. I'm telling you guys, stop thinking so small. Stop thinking as if there is a shortage, that there is lack and there's scarcity. God is not about lack and scarcity. He's about abundance. Everything belongs to him. Okay? And all you have to do is ask and believe you're going to get it. You'll get it. And I know that sounds really easy to say, but the more you start believing that, the easier it becomes for you. All right? So hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of value from this. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Let me make sure I didn't catch anything. Yes. Hey, Mike, what is going on? It's great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm going to go ahead and go, you guys. Anything that you'd like to share about your biggest takeaways from this chapter, please feel free to put that in here. I will definitely be back and comment as more people comment. So don't feel like just because you missed it live means that you cannot share your thoughts and opinions on this. Okay, I am very open-minded. I like to hear what you got to say, but it's just the weird comments that go around on YouTube sometimes. I'm like, you didn't even read the book, why are you commenting? Stuff like that. But anyway, also I wanted to remind you guys before I go, this coming Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm hosting a masterclass. Okay, this is a workshop for those of you who are in the online business, or maybe you're considering starting your own online business, home business, right? And that is this. We're going to talk about how you can survive the walking dead of network marketing. Don't get bitten. Okay, I want you to avoid the bite of failure and struggle and overwhelm, and technical limits and all that kind of stuff. So what you'll want to do, go ahead and register. I left that registration link inside the description box, okay, for you to join us this coming Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I am going to share with you 12, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, 12 vital tools to protect you from struggle and failure in any business that you promote online. So I don't care if it's makeup, health and wellness, if you're selling wraps, shakes, 3D lashes, if you are selling real estate, if you are selling e-commerce services, financial services, you know, what is it, like car services and things like that. Whatever it is that you're doing, travel, whatever it is, I'm going to show you just how vital it is to have these 12 tools so that you can have victory in your professional online business. Y'all love that? Awesome. I hope so. So yeah, go ahead, click on that. Look forward to seeing you this coming Thursday. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been so much fun, so amazing. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow when we get into our next chapter. Take care, everybody. Bye.